The next design I'm going to show you is garden foxgloves. Fabulous design, bright, lovely colours to work with, and this time I've used the organza to create the background. So there's a collection of colours in that you place over the printed design, and then you can start your stitching. It's got some lovely textured beads in here, a few stitches, a couple of favourites, a few French knots and a few straight stitches, and I'm just going to show you how to start this project. Okay, the next thing to do is to place your organzas over the printed area, and then you're ready to start stitching. Now you could just pin that, but I have done a temporary stitch, just attacking small stitches over the organza just to hold it in place when I'm going to stitch, and then take that out at the very end. So I've got my work in the spring hoop, so this is the 7-inch hoop, so if you've got the two sizes, the 5-inch and the 7, really useful to do different designs. So the first thing I'm going to show you is I'm just going to show you the foxgloves here. There's a print you'll be able to see through the organza, and then you're just going to stitch over the line, and it's a variegated thread, so the colours will change as you start. And I've got sort of 3 strands in my needle here. So I'm just going to bring the needle up through from the back to the front, and then I'm just going to take a couple of stitches over the print and build up an area of texture over those, and it will change colour, so everybody's will come out slightly different depending where the variegation in the thread starts, which is really lovely. So really basically the magic just happens and you're just doing the stitching. So as you go through you can build that into an area of texture. Builds up quite quickly. And the great thing is you can add more stitches. At the end of the day, you don't want to see the print. Okay, then to fasten off, just wind the threads around a couple of times just to hold them in place. Okay, I'm just going to show you how to apply a couple of beads on these cow parsley here. I've got a bead thread, and then I've put my beads into a little container, and they're assorted sizes, so I'm just going to pick up the bead and then just take the thread and work that through the fabric, and that's all that's going to hold the needle in place. You're just going to take that all the way through. And then you're going to move on to the next one. And you can add as many clusters of beads as you wish, because it's a really, I know it's a bit of a weed, but it's a lovely sculptural plant. And that's it, very easy to do. So far we've done straight stitch, we've done earlier a little bit of stem stitch to create the structure of the plant. Fun to do, and nice and easy, great results. Okay, the next thing I'm going to show you is how to do one of the fabric flowers. So any colour that's in your kit you can use. Take a strip about 1 centimetre in width, just the width of the fabric, and then I've just threaded up with 1 strand of a colour, and I'm just going to work a running stitch down the middle of the organza right to the end, and then I'm going to pull the needle through, and you've got a gathering thread there. Make sure you've got a knot, and then you're just going to gather that up and it'll twist itself into place, and then you're just going to secure the folds just with a couple of stitches, and you can use the same thread to apply it to your work. And obviously you can have as many of these as you wish. You can make it a lot more textured, or you can just have 1 or 2 flowers. So now I'm looking at the finished design just to show you what it looks like complete. So we've got some great French knots there, columns of French knot through the cow parsley. We've got some fabric flowers, we've got some loopy French knots, we've got a little bit of fly stitch, all to add a little bit of texture to your work. And I've taken out the tacking stitches, and then just to hold the organza in place, I've done a couple of French knots in 2 or 3 strands just to hold the organza in place. And then I've framed the piece in the display hoops, 7-inch display hoops, a nice way of showing off your work.